What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Who we got in here right now? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me see. Why do I feel like I haven't streamed in a year? Hold up real quick. All right, so I guess I should go ahead and explain the title. So, man, I've been thinking a lot about women lately. If you guys haven't noticed, some of my past few videos have been about women. And one thing about me is that my content is always going to be a reflection of what's going on in my life and in my mind at that point. And I've just been thinking a lot about women and dating and just relationship dynamics, why things happen the way that they do. Reflecting a lot and reflecting a lot on things that have happened to me in the past, why they happened that way. And you can't intellectualize love. That's one thing that I've learned in my life is you can't intellectualize love. You could sit there and try to, enforce logic on it. It just doesn't work. Okay, love, it just is what it is. There's no way for us to explain it. We just feel it, right? You can bring up all the scientific data you want, but, a lot of times, man, you'll know that somebody's not good for you, and you still feel that feeling anyways, right? Because love transcends your rational mind, unless you're like a psychopath or sociopath or something like that. But yeah, man, I'll answer like any questions, but I really want to focus mostly on women. Anything related to dating or women or anything like that. That's really what I want this stream to be about. And I am probably gonna start doing more like theme streams like this in the future. So definitely stay tuned for that. But let's see. See if we can answer some questions or. Jordan, would you forgive your girl if she twerked on your friends at a party you weren't at? Where do y'all find these girls at, man? Where do y'all find these girls that do stuff like that, bro? Like, that's your girl. Let me see. Let me reread that. Jordan, would you forgive your girl if she, see, if like you guys were in the talking stage or something like that, like if you guys aren't exclusive or official, that's one thing. That would still piss me off if like a girl that I'm talking to did something like that. But bro, if that's your girl, and not only that, but she twerked on one of your friends, especially, yeah, she gotta go. She gotta go. Maybe I'm just not very forgiving. I like to think I'm a pretty forgiving person, but that's crazy, bro. That's crazy right there. That like like what? Like I don't know, bro. That's me personally. She gotta go after doing something like that. To me, that's cheating. Some people wouldn't necessarily categorize that as cheating. I would, though. I would. And if you cheat, you gotta go. I'm talking to two girls at once. I really like them both, and I've been doing stuff with them. I didn't mean to, but I'm real stuck on what to do with them at this point. I need help. Man, that's tough, man. See, that right there, that's why I don't like to talk to multiple women at the same time. First of all, I don't really understand how people can do it, man. I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the energy to entertain multiple women at a time. But, you know, I think when it comes to, like I said earlier, man, you can't intellectualize love. You can't really just sit there and think like, okay, logically, this woman, like I don't think you should just compare them like that, just on paper. I think you should just go with your gut. I think when it comes to love, you should always go with your gut feeling. Um, yeah, man, and just communicate, man. Don't just like pick one of them and then ghost the other one, or pick one of them and then try to kind of like lead the other one on as a backup option. Just be very upfront. Be like, hey, I've been talking to this other girl and decided to take things to the next level with her, and I wish you the best. Like that sort of vibe. Just whatever you decide to do, but either way, bro, follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. What's good, Muru? My boy Muru, man. Shout out to bro Muru. It's been so long, man. I know we've been like talking a little more recently, but bro, like It's crazy, man. I hope that everyone in the group chat's doing amazing, bro. Do you feel like you're missing out on love? You know, it's interesting, man. You guys tell me if this resonates with you. And I think me moving out definitely has a major, like, plays a major part in the way that I feel. But it's like sometimes I get really lonely and I want a relationship, but then it's like other times it's like, damn, I really enjoy being single. Like I love the freedom, and that's one thing that I love. I love being free. I love being free, and like just being single, you have so much freedom to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. You don't ever have to, take anybody else into consideration when planning out your day, right? And I love that. But at the same time, it's like I want companionship sometimes, and it's like you can't have it both ways. Maybe if you do casual relationships or something like that, but that's not my thing. I'd rather just be single than do that. But I'm still kind of on the fence about relationships right now. I think that maybe once I kind of get to a place where I'm a little more stable in my own life, then maybe I can really start to put myself out there in the way that I'd like to. But yeah, man, I think that feeling is always kind of going to be there if I'm single. But like I said, I like being single too. I think for me it's just about being present, really. Just be present where I'm at. Let's see. How should I tell a girl I want to smash her? I mean, see. Here's the thing, man. It depends on the girl, right? Because some girls, if you tell them that, they'll be down, right, bro? A lot of times, like in my experience, anyways, when a girl wants to smash, like she'll just like, how do I put this, man? She'll let it be known, right? Even if like she doesn't directly say it, she'll let it be known. Like there's been times where I like ended up in girls' beds and shit, like, and I didn't see the connection at the time because I didn't understand what that meant. But like, I feel like, see, part of me wants to say communication, just like communicate it directly. Like, hey, I'm just trying to fuck. I'm keep it real with you. That's all I want. Some girls will respect that, other girls won't. So that's why I say it depends on the girl. You have to know the girl well enough. Matter of fact, I would say if she's been like flirting with you, if she's been giving you sexual, like, what's the word? Hints or whatever, then just be upfront with her, man. Be upfront with her. This is interesting. If you're in high school, don't worry about women. Get your life settled first, bro. I agree, and I also disagree. I feel like when you're young, you shouldn't chase love. Like you shouldn't just actively seek out a relationship, but I feel like you should be open to one, right? Because there's people that met in high school and ended up getting married, starting families, and doing amazing things together. But there's also people who got in toxic relationships in high school that persisted even after high school and held them back. So I think it's a matter of using your better judgment, which is your intuition, and just taking the opportunity if it feels right to you. Let's see. Do you think it's good to leave my best friend after she rejected me? That's kind of a situational thing. I've seen cases where a guy and a girl will be friends and the guy will make a move on her. The girl's not interested in anything more than friendship, and they just keep being friends. They're cool, nothing awkward or anything like that. But in my experience, I've had times where I tried to make moves on girls that were friends with me and it didn't really end that well. So I think it's a situational thing. It's a situational thing, man. If you feel like being friends with her would cause you more suffering than it would joy, let her go. That's my advice. That's my advice, man, because it's very difficult to be friends with somebody if you know that you really, really like them. Okay, and I'm just speaking from experience, man. It gets messy, toxic. It's typically not the wave, man. That's not the move, bro. But if you feel like you could be friends with her, and not feel that way towards her, cool. Bro, how can I get at a girl if I'm not attractive? You see, here's the thing, man. I think a lot of people misconstrue what attraction actually is. You see, you guys think attraction is just the way that you look, but it's not, bro. I'm trying to tell you guys, man, it's confidence. That's all you need, bro. Like, look, I'm gonna break it down for you guys, okay? If you guys haven't been watching my recent videos, okay? Women want one thing, okay? What is that thing? They want security. That's what they want to feel, right? If a woman doesn't want security, then you have to ask yourself, what is she trying to get out of this situation? Okay, because if she doesn't want security, that means she wants one of a few things. She either wants your body or she wants your money, right? Or she's just manipulative, narcissistic. There's usually, if she doesn't want security, there's typically something wrong with her. And let me not say wrong, but typically she has unresolved trauma that she needs to work through, right? So if a woman wants security, which like I said will be most emotionally healthy women, you as a man, it's your responsibility to provide that to her. Now, how do you do that? Right? How do you provide a woman a sense of security? You have to think back to nature. Okay, it goes back to nature. There was a time when money did not exist. Okay, there was a time when money did not exist. What was attractive back then? Okay, the societal standards in terms of attraction didn't exist either. Physical attraction, that is. They didn't exist. So how did men and women decide, that they wanted to be together? How did a woman decide that she wanted to be with a specific man? She decided based on his traits, his qualities, his behavior. Confidence. Confidence is the number one trait that will provide women or anyone with a sense of security. Plain and simple. Confidence. What are some green flags in a girl? That's a good question, man. That's a very good question. And I want you guys to help me with this too, because I realized recently that growing up, dude, I was really bad at picking up on signs. I guess that's more of like a different conversation, but green flags in a girl that I would say, reciprocity. I think that's the main one. Just she reciprocates your energy. And I feel like that's kind of the bare minimum, but you'd be surprised these days, man. If she's like I said, reciprocating your energy. So if you're texting her, right, and you text her an informative paragraph about your life and she says LOL, cool. Like, if she's doing shit like that, bro, let her go. Let her go. But if she's showing just as much interest in you as you are in her, it's a major green flag, man. And I say that's the foundation. That is the foundation. Another thing is she's not overly argumentative, right? Oh my gosh. I've had girls that I talked to that just wanted to argue over the smallest, most insignificant shit, bro. Like, literally, like, I could tell they just like to argue. And I guess it's kind of hypocritical of me to say that because I was the same way as well. That's probably why it pissed me off so much. But, yeah, man, when a girl, and I'm not saying that a girl has to agree with you on everything. She should be able to voice her opinion. But at the same time, I guess basically, these are mostly red flags, man. It's easier to see what not to look for than what to look for, because I feel like that's more of a personal experience. But like I said, reciprocity, that's really going to be the biggest green flag. And if you like a girl or not. If you like a girl. So if you like a girl and she reciprocates your energy, proceed. Do you need a partner to feel love? No, you don't. I believe that the essence of love is acceptance. And a lot of people, they don't give themselves acceptance, especially nowadays with social media, right? They grow up comparing themselves to other people who a lot of times aren't even living the lifestyle that they portray behind the scenes. But like I said, different conversation for a different day. People lack that sense of self-worth and self-acceptance, and so they seek it out in other people. They expect other people to fill that void. But the only way to actually be in receiving mode for love from other people is to love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to accept love from other people. That is one of the most prominent lessons that I ever learned in my life, is that if you don't love yourself, you will not be willing or able to accept love from someone else. You'll think that they're lying. You'll think that they're trying to manipulate you. You you won't be open to love. Okay, have you guys ever tried to compliment somebody, and then they're like, oh no, it's not, like, hey, I like your outfit. Oh, thank you. It's okay. Like, bro, like that person doesn't love themselves enough to believe that they're worthy of love from somebody else. So that's like the biggest paradox in life, man, and in love, is that you have to love yourself first. So in short, no, you don't need a partner to feel love. Very long-winded answer, but yeah. Hey Jordan, I'm 15 and every time I talk to a girl, I get super attached. Within 24 hours of talking, I ask them to link and for a relationship. She could take hours to reply and I'll reply right away. Man, you're asking for relationships after 24 hours, bro? That's kind of wild, but that sounds like something that I probably would have done at that same age too. Here's the thing, man. This is what my therapist told me. You never know who somebody really is until you really take the time to get to know them in different situations. 24 hours, 24 days, okay, maybe even 24 weeks is not enough time to get the full picture of who somebody is. Now, with you being 15, I'm not sure that you're thinking about marriage per se at this point in your life, right? But at the same time, you owe it to yourself to get to know somebody for who they really are. Because a lot of times you don't know who somebody is until they get comfortable around you. Okay, and the first 24 hours, they're trying to put on their best facade. But I'm telling you, bro, you gotta love yourself enough. Okay, it goes right back to self-love. If you don't love yourself, you're going to seek it in other people. That's the way that I was, man. That's why I had a very strong anxious attachment style. You Google that if you don't know what that is. Anxious attachment style. Okay, you get attached very quickly because you have abandonment issues. But in reality, you're abandoning yourself. And that's why you have abandonment issues. It's not because other people abandon you. It's because you abandon yourself. And you create this self-fulfilling prophecy where you overstep boundaries that people set with you. And then they abandon you. And then you abandon yourself again. It's a very toxic cycle to be in. And I hope that I was able to help you at least start asking yourself those questions that you need to ask to break out of that cycle. Because it doesn't lead anywhere. Speaking from experience with that. What are some key things your last relationship taught you about dating and relationships? So my last relationship that I was in was actually my very first relationship in my entire life. I think that my biggest takeaway from the whole thing was communication. Communication is key. You can't, no matter how well you think you know somebody, right? And I'm not saying that either one of us was being deceitful or anything like that. But no matter how well you think you know somebody, you don't know what they're actually thinking in a situation until they tell you, right? And even then, you have to trust their actions before you trust their words. So hold on, let me get some water. Your boy needs some water, man. But you have to trust their actions and their words, I should say. You need that complete picture of communication. And nothing should be off limits. Nothing should be off limits. You should be able to talk with them about anything. If you're harboring secrets, okay, it's always going to spill out at some point or another. And at times, if you're harboring, like, let's say if your partner did something to you that really pissed you off, right? And you don't communicate it to them. Okay, this is something that me and her were very good about too. We were very good at communicating with each other. But if you don't communicate, you just let it build up. Okay, you're going to build up a subconscious resentment towards that person. And you're going to sabotage the relationship. So you have to be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations. And let me see another thing. What's another thing that I learned from that relationship, man? I feel like I learned a lot more about myself than I did about relationships in general. And like the way that I operate in the context of relationships. But as far as relationships in general, man, I feel like, damn, what's another thing, man? I guess, yeah, the most obvious answer would probably be, you you have to make sure you have to clear your trauma. Like you have to transcend your inner trauma, childhood trauma, abandonment issues, anything like that, before you get into a relationship. Because with me, for example, um, I didn't realize this until after the fact, after, we broke up. But I still had a lot of subconscious trauma, about other situations, being rejected in the past and abandoning myself and being abandoned by other women, and that was very, I held it within me. And so at the first sign of, her, even though, like I said, she was like, she wasn't going to do what they did, but any sign, bro, her margin for error was literally non-existent, bro. It was non-existent. So like, and I think she didn't know what she was getting herself into. Neither did I, okay, because I thought I was good. So like, I made the video not too long ago talking about the Vegas trip and how that whole situation transpired. How she canceled she I don't want to say flaked, but she canceled on what would have been our first trip together at the last second, right? And that really, really, ever since that happened, I never, like, it's like I shut down emotionally. I completely shut down. I just turned cold, right? And that coincided with me going really hard on YouTube, and I used that as my excuse, right? I used that as my means of justifying to her why I could not invest myself into the relationship emotionally. I just don't have time. Okay, I don't have time. I'm trying my best. No, you're just taking on more work than you know you can handle. Okay, you're trying to hide in your work, which is why I had to take a break from YouTube. But yeah, man, the moral of the story, make sure that you clear your trauma first. Okay, you can't run away from your shadows. They'll always be there. Hold on real quick. I think we got a donation. Hold on real quick. Hold up. Oh, we're way far behind. Hold up. Shout out to Authentic Alvin, man. I'm trying to be my best version so I can attract an authentic woman. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I think, there's nothing wrong with wanting a good woman in your life, right? But just make sure that the woman is the woman for you. A lot of people, man, they're so focused on getting women. I'm not saying that this is you, but a lot of people, they're so focused on getting women that they don't take the time to figure out who they are first, which will actually attract the woman that would give you that sense of acceptance and understanding that you actually crave deep down. Because like I said, if you don't love yourself, you won't be receptive to somebody else's love. Do you believe girls and guys can just be friends? I personally don't think so. This is a very controversial question, man, and I've flip-flopped so many times, man. I feel like with the right boundaries, it is possible, right? So me personally, I have female friends. I don't have that many of them, but I have female friends. But I think growing up, I never hung out with any of my female friends. I never just hung out with just me and them. Maybe like twice in my whole life, because I knew that I would catch feelings. There's only so many deep conversations that you could have with them, late nights, sitting out watching the sunset, doing things like that. There's only so many times that you could do that before you catch feelings for that girl, and vice versa. So, like I said, with boundaries, it's possible. It is very much possible. Hold up real quick. Hold up. Yo, Todd Cantwell, I appreciate the donation, the super sticker. I still don't know what super stickers are, but I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Go for the girls that like you. Don't chase the baddies. It's not all about looks. Yeah, for sure, man. I think, I made that video today. I don't want you guys to take that video out of context, okay? Men's desire for women is not solely contingent upon the woman's looks. Okay, it's just like there's a mix, right? So, like I said, you have to be with somebody that really understands you if you want to be happy, man. Just finding a woman that looks good is a very empty way to live your life, because looks fade. Okay, but character doesn't. So yeah, man, like it's okay to be attracted to a woman physically, but don't let that be the only thing that you pay attention to. Let's see. Um, One of my green flags in a female is that she has a good relationship with her parents. Um, I definitely respect that. My thing is, I don't really care about the parents, and that's something like I feel like I disagree with a lot of people on this. So you guys might disagree with me on this too. But dude, I've never cared about like a girl's parents, man. I never cared about if they like me or anything like that. I don't care if my parents like a girl. Like, I mean, we're grown. Like, I don't know, bro. That, to me, like, I don't really take that into account. If she has a bad relationship with her parents, I can see how that might present trauma for her. But if her parents were abusive or something like that, then of course, she's not going to have a good relationship with them. So I think it's all contextual. Do you agree with the 3-day date rule for sex? And if not, given ghost. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of that 3-day date rule for sex. Like 3 dates, like you go on 3 dates before having sex. My personal rule of thumb is I won't have sex with a girl unless she's my girlfriend. That's my rule. I would not have sex with a girl unless we are exclusive and official. Because I cannot have sex with a girl and have the thought that she might be just messing with a bunch of other dudes. Like I can't have that thought in the back of my mind. I get turned off very easily. So something like that, it throws me off. But the moment that we make things official, I mean, yo, you feel me? Like it's all good from there. That's my personal belief, though. Some people, a lot of guys out here, man, they will smash the first chance that you give them. They will smash at the earliest convenience. But that's just not me. Let's see. Michael, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. My man's always showing love in all the streams, man. Shout out to Michael. Is it Metroke? I appreciate you, bro. Real talk. You're a real one. You're a king. You're a real king, bro. Should I give up because I'm experiencing many failures with women? I wouldn't say you should give up. I say you should let go. Usually, if you're experiencing a lot of failures with women, that's a sign that you need to focus on yourself, right? And that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. That might mean that you need to focus on your career. It might mean that you need to get your health in check. It might mean that you need to do a lot of inner work, clear your trauma, find that confidence within yourself. But right now, man, I'm very big on flow in life, just flowing in a very organic, natural way, being present. And women are no exception to that. Dating is no exception to that. So, I think now is the time for you to just really lock in on you. Lock in on Cobra X. Be the best version of you that you can be. And the right woman will come to you in the right timing. I would assume that you're pretty young. I'd imagine that you're a pretty young person. So don't rush yourself, man. Don't put pressure on yourself to find a relationship. I think a lot of people need to hear that, including myself. What advice would you give to a genuinely well below average individual? Man, let me tell you this, okay? First, control what you can control. Okay, control what you can control. All right, so there are certain things, like you can't control your height. You can't control if you're balding or not. You can't control, for the most part, your facial structure. You can control your body, okay? You can build up muscle. You can control the clothes that you wear, your wardrobe. Okay, you can control your hygiene. Things like that. You can control if you brush your teeth or not. Make the most of what you have. Okay, make the most of what you have. And like I said earlier, man, it's all about confidence. Now, the reason why I laughed is because in the gym today, bro, I saw this guy and this girl, bro. The girl, I couldn't tell. She looked like she was bad, but I feel like every girl in the gym looks bad. At least to me, I don't know. But she was with this guy, and I didn't see his face, bro. I didn't see his face the first time. I just he had long hair, and I was like walking behind him, so I couldn't see what he looked like. And maybe like 20 minutes later, I see him walking towards me, and I saw his face, and then I realized like immediately, like Looks really don't matter. Like bro, looks really like I really wish I could gather every black pill person who ever existed and just I wish that I could have shared that moment with them. Okay, I wish I could have shared that moment with all of them, bro, because it would have given them so much hope and faith, bro. Like it I'm trying to tell you guys, man, looks will only get you so far. Looks, money, a lot of these things that men think women care about, the only reason why women care about them is because looks and money tend to lead to confidence, right? When a man is better looking than he used to be, like if he had a glow up, he went through puberty, whatever, elevated his fashion, got a makeover, then he's going to be a more confident version of himself. That's what the women are attracted to. That's why sometimes, man, you'll see a dusty dude with a fine woman. Okay, everybody knows people like that. Okay, everybody knows people like that. It's confidence, bro. I'm trying to tell you guys, man, work on your confidence. Let's see. How do I get rid of childhood trauma? Therapy, journaling, introspection, getting away from distractions. You see, I feel like a lot of times when we have trauma, we place ourselves in situations where we don't have to confront it because it's very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to look at your shadows, but you need to if you want to progress in your life. And like I said earlier, man, for me, working, focusing, like overworking myself with YouTube, that was my coping mechanism. For some people, it might be social media. For other people, it might be video games. Okay, for other people, it might be hookup culture. There's a lot of different things that people, run to, confide in order to avoid confronting their trauma. Now, when you remove the excess from your life, you have no choice but to look within. You have no choice but to listen to yourself. And, the first few months are going to be very uncomfortable. You're going to cry a lot. You're going to experience emotions that you didn't realize you had because you're probably accustomed to suppressing your emotions. But that's how you know that you're clearing the trauma, is that you feel those emotions. You feel these waves of anguish followed by waves of excitement. It's like a roller coaster ride. So, yeah, man, that's the essence of it right there. Let's see. How can I speak to a girl and make her engaged in the conversation? So my thing is this, man. I'm not a small talk type of person. I'm not the type of person who's gonna ask you how your day's been going. Like I will, but like a lot of times I don't really care. I'm more so like let's really talk about something. I'm a good conversationalist, but only if we're talking about something that I care about. That's what I would recommend you do. Find a common topic that you both care about, and the conversation should flow naturally. You're both going to be very passionate about it. It could be maybe you're both into anime, maybe you're both into art, maybe you're both into YouTube. You both watch Jordan Green. I don't know. Like find something that you have in common. If you can't find a common topic to talk about, then you probably shouldn't spend too much time with that girl anyways. Because imagine being around somebody more than you're around anyone else and you never have anything to talk about with them. They don't understand you. That's loneliness, man. You'll be lonely. So if you can't have a good conversation with a specific woman, take that as a sign that you guys probably are not meant to be anything more than just acquaintances at most. Jordan, imagine a woman looks at you by walking, staring at you, etc. What do? Just walking away or just staring? So I think one thing I've realized, bro, is I'm pretty oblivious to that. Sometimes there's been a few times, especially more recently, that I've caught women staring at me, especially like at the gym or things like that. Like I'll like look in the mirror and I'll catch her like, she'll do one of those. But for me, it just depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing. A lot of times, like I said, I'm oblivious to it. And like maybe my friend, bro, like I've had so many instances where I'll be like with one of my friends or something like that, and a girl will walk by, and I like see her out of the corner of my eye, but I don't pay her too much mind. And then 5 minutes later, my friend is like, "Bro, she was checking you out. She was eyeing you down." Like, what? Like, why didn't you tell me that then? But like, I feel like if a woman's staring at you, man, um, stare back. Stare back at her. Make eye contact and see what she does. If she smiles, walk up to her and start talking to her. If she gives you the stank face or something, bro, keep it moving. What's your best advice if your friend's sister is your crush, and how can I ask her to link without making it weird? I'm 17 and a senior in high school. Um, I mean, if she's your friend's sister, then you should kind of have access to her, I would assume. First, I would kind of like run the idea by your friend. I'm not saying you need to ask for his approval, okay? Because it's not really, I'm not going to say it's not his business, but it's not really his business though. It's between you and the girl. But I would say just like kind of try to figure out more information about her through your friend because, you know, they're siblings, so they would probably know a lot about each other. And once you acquire enough information to where you feel comfortable doing that, then it's just a matter of putting yourself in the right position. Just shoot your shot. Shoot your shot at that point, bro. You're a senior in high school. I don't know if you're going to college or what, but you're probably, you know, within a few years going to be living far away. Shoot your shot, man. You have nothing to lose. Let's see. I met a girl a week ago. Yesterday we met too. We both established that we were feeling each other, and she's been taking long as hell to reply, and I don't know where we stand. Should I be blunt of what I want? You know, that's a very interesting thing because I could give you a lot of different answers with that. In the past, I would have told you, yeah, she's not into you, drop her. But some people just aren't good texters, man. That doesn't mean that they don't like you. Like, I'm not a good texter. I'm not a good texter at all. But I have experienced situations where a woman her energy will be one way in person, but then when you get away from them, it's another way. In my experience, what that means is she has commitment issues. She's feeling your vibe, she likes you, but she's scared. Okay, she's either scared of commitment, she's scared of being hurt again. She's not ready for a relationship. Like I said, I'm not saying that that's the conclusion you should take away, but in my experience, if her energy in person is not congruent with her energy over the phone, over text or whatever, then you're like I said, just proceed with caution. That's just my experience though. If she's a very busy person and you know she's a very busy person, be more forgiving about it. Or if she's just a bad texter, be more forgiving about it. But try to FaceTime her. I would say that. Try to like FaceTime her or talk to her on the phone. That'll usually give you a better indication, in my opinion. If she doesn't want to FaceTime you, then she probably doesn't like you that much. In my opinion. I don't think I've ever had a girl not want to FaceTime me. Like girls that liked me. I caught feelings for my female friend. What should I do? I've been ignoring her for the past few days. Damn, that's tough, man. Don't just ignore her, man. Don't ignore her. I mean, I think you just have to surrender, man. You have to surrender to those feelings. You know, if you've caught feelings, you're gonna have to. I'm not saying you need to shoot your shot, but just like, how do you think she likes you back? I'll ask that first, because if you think she likes you back, then I would say definitely start to insinuate that you like her. Like, just give her flirty vibes, but don't be, just because you're friends, you know, don't push too hard, and just see how she responds to that. But if you don't think she likes you back, then just be straightforward with her. Hey, I've been catching feelings for you, and you know, I want to see if you feel the same way. If you don't, then that's fine. We don't have to be friends. Cool. But like I said earlier, man, being friends with a girl that you have feelings for is one thing to like a girl. It's another thing to have feelings for a girl. Trying to be friends with a girl that you have feelings for, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well, man. Hey Jordan, what do you want in a girl to be with? Physically, mentally, spiritually? Very good question. I was just talking about this with my therapist a few hours ago, man. I feel like it's not so much like traits that I look for anymore. Like there are certain things like I want her to be spiritual. I would love to be with a vegan girl, like things like that. But it really comes down to three categories. Those categories are connection, compatibility, and chemistry. Chemistry can be developed, connection cannot be developed. Compatibility can happen over time, but it's to me it's better to have it up front. But connection is the most important. Then compatibility, then chemistry. Because chemistry just comes with time. So I feel like for me, there's no real way to explain a connection. You just feel it. You just know it when you feel it. Um, and just to be with a girl that really, at the end of the day, just to be with a girl that understands me. That's really all what it's always going to come down to. A girl that understands me that I also find attractive. Like that's really what it to me. That's like the most simple way of putting it. So if you know any girls out there like that, DM Jordan Green at yahoo.com. Let's see. Just curious on your opinion on this. I was talking to a girl and she told me she liked me and I liked her. Later on though, she told me she liked me and another guy. You can't like two people, right? Well, I don't know when, like how early you joined the stream, but earlier we had a question where a guy said that he was, he liked two different girls. It is very much possible to like two different people at the same time, or 3 or 10 people. But my thing is this, man. Don't ever try to compete for a girl unless you're doing like an e-date or some shit like that where it's just for fun. Don't ever compete for a girl's affection, her time, her energy, any of that. Okay, you just kind of keep it moving with your life. I'm not saying you need to like ghost her or anything, but just kind of fall back a little bit, man, and let her make her own decision without any external pressure. How can you tell if a girl is a soulmate or just a girl that you connect with deeply? Well, first of all, let me say this. I use the term soulmate very loosely, right? I feel like soulmates can be, first of all, soulmates can be anybody. It doesn't just have to be a romantic interest. It could be your friends, teachers, family members, pets, anything, right? Anyone that you feel a connection with. For me, the way that I know that I have a strong spiritual connection with the girl, right? And that doesn't mean that we have to be like romantic, partners or anything like that. We could be friends or anything like that. But to me, there's this certain feeling that I get, a feeling of familiarity. That's the feeling that always lets me know that like, okay, this is somebody that this might not be our first time meeting, right? From a spiritual perspective, from a spiritual standpoint, a feeling of deja vu. Like I know you already. Some people are gonna know what I'm talking about. Some won't. Okay, and that's just we're all at a different point in our spiritual evolution. But there's been times for sure in the past, very few times, but there have been times where I felt that familiarity, where it's like I see a girl, I'm with a girl, and I'm like, okay, I know you. Like I know you. We've never met, but I know you. That's a soulmate type deal. To me, the connection is just like you can connect over something, over a topic. Maybe we connect on our beliefs. We connect on our religion or our spiritual beliefs. Anything like that. Any tips on finding an introverted woman? I'm an introvert myself, and I find introverted girls really attractive and would love to date one. Man, I'm right there with you, bro. I am right there with you. That's literally the reason why I got on dating apps in the first place. Because I thought, okay, if I'm a homebody, how am I going to meet other homebodies? How am I going to meet other girls that like to just chill at the crib and watch Netflix? If they don't go out, they're just at home watching Netflix. So how am I going to meet them? Turns out Tinder wasn't the move for that. For me, I think that you have to go to places that everyone goes to. So like the grocery store, the gym, like you got to find places like that. Post office, like little, like shit like that, bro. Don't go to places that attract extroverted people, bro. Like if you go to a bar or a club or something like that, you're gonna meet extroverted girls, extroverted women. If you want an introverted girl, bro, go to the grocery store, go to the library, the gym, just anything like that that everyone goes to, introverted or not. Think about the places that you like to go to and go to those places. Parents matter a lot. My ex's mom made us break up. I can tell you're very young just based on that statement. Or maybe, I mean, maybe her mom just had like some type of stronghold on her on her daughter, but I don't know. That's to me that's weird though, because like me as an adult, that could never happen to me. Like there's no way that anybody, bro. I don't give a fuck who you are, my parents, friends, um, anybody would ever convince me to break up with a girl. I make that decision under my own free will, my own judgment. So to me, if your ex allowed that to happen, unless, like I said, you're very young, if your ex allowed that to happen, you probably dodged a bullet there, man. You probably dodged a bullet. Let's see. Good question. How long until you should make it official? I think you have to play it by intuition, man. And that's gonna be a theme throughout this whole stream is intuition. Because like I said, love and logic don't mix. Now, for me and my ex, for example, I think I think we went on our first date like December 30th, and we made it official like 2 weeks later. It didn't take us much time. It was like 4 dates in 2 weeks. 2 weeks of like going out together. I feel like that was probably a little too fast in retrospect. I think that had we spent more time just getting to know each other, maybe I would have realized that I wasn't actually ready for a relationship. But like I said, man, I feel like you have to play it by intuition, because had I not done what I did in that situation, I wouldn't have learned as much about myself as I did. So like I said, man, life has a funny way of playing itself out, and giving you the lessons that you need. So just, trust your gut. Let's see. Okay, how far behind? Well, I'm 20 minutes behind. Okay, I'm gonna do like a big scroll. Big scroll. Let's go down. Let's go down to like 6:35 or something like that. Let's get like 12 minutes behind. Okay. I ask a girl out. What? I ask a girl. Hold on, bro. Am I illiterate? Am I dyslexic, bro? What the fuck? I ask a girl out, a girl in class. Okay, I ask a girl out, a girl in class, and she tells everyone about it. Never flirted with her, never talked, just simply went out and tell her. What does that mean to you? Hold on. Bro, am I just like tired, bro? What, like I'm trying to figure out what this means. I ask a girl out, a girl in class, and she tells everyone about it. Never flirted with her, never talked, just simply went out and tell her. What does that mean to you? I mean, if you asked a girl out, that's flirting. I'm struggling to what? I mean, the fact, okay, if she told other people that you asked her out, like if she just went around and told everyone, I do think that that's kind of weird. Like that's just strange behavior in my opinion. But the fact that you said in class lets me know that you guys are pretty young, and that is normal. Kids are just weird. They don't operate the same way as adults, obviously. So I wouldn't really make too much of it, man. I'd just keep it moving. There's not really much you could do about the situation at this point. Control what you can control, always. How do I go for a shy girl? My confidence is shit. I'm shy myself. That's the problem right there, man. You don't need to be dating anyone if your confidence isn't where it needs to be, because you won't be happy in the relationship. Once you develop that confidence that you can go out and talk to the women that you want to talk to, then hey, those doors will open for you. But you have to work on yourself first. Jordan looking like a third grade soccer coach. Hey man, shout out to Bryce Wilson, man. Shout out to Bryce Wilson. We went for that Bryce Wilson look today. My man. What are your thoughts about sex when it comes to a relationship? Is it required, or can you still love someone without it? I feel that this generation is only in relationships because of sex, to be honest. Very, very good question. Hold on real quick. Let me hydrate. Me personally, I don't think sex is that important. And I know I'm in the vast minority on this. I wouldn't be, well, let me not like say that, because I feel like sex isn't that important to me, but it's still somewhat necessary, right? Because if I'm in a relationship with a girl and we're not having sex, we're just friends. Like, I mean, we're pretty much just friends at that point. Friends with like friends without benefits. We're homies. That's my dog, my bro. Like we're cool. But I feel like, how do I put this, man? I feel like sex should not be the foundation of your relationship. I feel like if sex is the foundation of your relationship, it will not last. It will not last, bro. It just can't. It can't last. I feel like the foundation should be who you are, like the essence of who you are. And sex is a way of, what's the word? Sex is just a means by which you cultivate your bond, your chemistry, that connection that I talked about earlier. Let's see. Is it wrong to get with an ex even when the relationship ended on a mutual understanding, in a mutually understanding way? There's no black or white answer for that. There's no black or white answer for that. Here's my thing. Okay, if you get with an ex or any girl that you used to mess with, you can't come back as the same person. Like if you two, like if you break up and then neither of you change and you get back together because you just miss each other, the same thing is going to happen. And you're going to end up in a toxic relationship, right? And you don't want to be a part of that. So you have to do the inner work first, man. Do the inner work. And if you elevate yourself to the point where you're a whole different person and she does the same thing and you still want to be together at that point, then I don't see anything wrong with it. But you have to do the inner work first, man. Let's see. I'm not an English native speaker and I'm a bit shy when it comes to speaking to people. How can I get over it? I don't know if you live in America, but over here, I feel like people love accents, especially women. So use that to you use your accent, man. Like, exaggerate it a little bit. And you probably pull girls just off of that alone. Got a French accent, Italian accent, I don't know. Let's see. Tips on confessing your feelings. Like, what's the wordplay I should use? I think you just need to be direct when it comes to that. You need to be as direct as possible. I would recommend, personally, that you do it in person. I'd recommend that you do it in person. Don't do that shit on... Definitely don't confess your feelings through text. Don't do that. Maybe FaceTime, but I would recommend doing it in person and just speaking how you feel. You know, and that way you'll get the most authentic response possible. How long should the talking stage last? That goes right along with the relationship question. Like, how long should you take until you make it official? As long as you need it to take. That's my opinion. As long as you need it to take. Do you think trying to become friends with a girl before trying to get into a relationship is a good idea? Not necessarily with said girl. For sure. I mean, I think that being friends with girls will give you a lot of insight into the way that women think. For sure. And it's nice to have somebody that you can ask, like, yo, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it definitely helps. And vice versa. But even like for a girl that you plan on being in a relationship with, I think that it can be good to start off as friends and then progress from there. I look good but have no game. I look good but have no game. What can I do? I don't have like crazy game either, man. I feel like you don't need game to get girls, right? And like I said, man, you might need game to get a girl that's not meant for you, because game is in the way that a lot of men present it. These dating coaches, they present it as manipulation, It's just utilizing psychology, distorting psychology to and using women's nature against them to manipulate them into liking you. But it's not sustainable though. It's not sustainable. I would just say be yourself, bro. Be confident in who you are. If a girl doesn't like you, then hey, that's not your problem. That's not your business. Let's see. Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit. Hey Jordan, I love watching your videos, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate you. Why would a guy not want to reject you in the most standard way? Wait. Why would a guy not want to reject you in the most standard way? For example, I'm sorry, but I'm not ready for a relationship, etc. What do you mean? How, like, what? Like, I'm confused with that one because are you saying that guys haven't been telling you that? Because if a guy's not, like I said, man, communication is everything in a relationship. So if somebody can't communicate their feelings to you, then that's a red flag. That like they definitely are not somebody that you want to, invest too much of yourself into. What do YouTubers mean when they say don't chase? Exactly what it sounds like. Do not go out and chase women. You see, a lot of guys, they make women their end goal, right? And yes, to an extent, that is our nature, but it's not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling. I think a great example of this is You, season 3. If you go and watch You on Netflix. Great show, amazing show, but pay attention to the way that Goldberg, what? Oh my God, Joe Goldberg. Pay attention to the way that Joe Goldberg thinks. Okay, listen to his dialogue, his inner dialogue, and try to pick up on his tendencies, man, and see how he just finds himself in the same situations over and over, or just always chasing. He's always looking for something else because, he's not content with who he is. He doesn't love himself. That's why I say self-love is so important. If you don't love yourself, you're going to chase other people because you're looking for that love from others, that validation. You're waiting for other people to give you permission to love yourself. Let's see. Also, how do you overcome the belief that a girl won't want to talk to you because of your character? I've been rejected a handful of times this year and always thought that it's my character. Like I said, man, here's the thing, and I know this is much easier said than done, but this is really what it's going to come down to, man. Do not take rejection personally. Just because those girls rejected you doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Maybe it might be an indication that you need to work on yourself for you, not for them. Okay, maybe you need to clear out some type of limiting belief system that is causing you to potentially self-sabotage without even realizing it. But, it could just be that those girls were not for you, man. Like, you said a handful of times this year. The year is almost over. It's been damn near 12 months. You only got rejected like 5 times. That's like what, 5? I'm gonna assume between 5 to 10 girls. Think about that. Okay, 5 to 10 girls. Think about how many girls you see on a day-to-day basis. Okay, and now add that up for a whole year, and you've only been rejected 5 to 10 times. That's not bad at all, bro. You're doing just fine. I'm a senior in high school, and I don't know how to meet girls. The only ones I talk to are the ones in my class. Can you give me any tips? Right there, bro. You just answered your own question, man. You answered your own question. I'm assuming based on that question that you're very shy, like I was. So you just kind of like ignored opportunities to talk to girls when they presented themselves because you were afraid. You were afraid to, socialize with them because it could potentially lead to rejection. You're afraid of rejection. But you have to get over that fear, man, because you're a senior in high school. And I think it's very difficult to convey this message to somebody who's still in high school because they don't understand. Like, you guys aren't going to understand how insignificant those interactions are until you finish high school and you realize you're probably never going to see most of those girls ever again. So if I were you, I would just say double down on the girls that you see in class, bro. Just talk to them more, get to know them. Maybe you hang out with them, they introduce you to their friends, and you'll at least have a sense of how to talk to women. And maybe, who knows, maybe you might find the love of your life, man. Let's see. Let's see. How to detach from the thought of someone? That's a very good question, man. Let me tell you, it took me, what, damn near 2 years to figure out the answer to that question. Um, it's really just about awareness, presence, understanding that the thought of someone is, when you have this idealistic version of somebody in your head, it's not fair to them. Okay, it's not fair to you, but it's also not fair to them because you're holding them to this unrealistic standard. You're expecting them to fill a void within you. Okay, and nobody can do that except for you. Nobody can do that except for you. So I think just understanding that you have to love yourself enough. And like I said, self-love, man, it's self-love and intuition. Those are going to be the two of the pillars of a strong relationship, a strong romantic relationship. You have to love yourself enough to know that that thought isn't going to fill that void. It's not. Because what you're really thinking about in your head when you visualize that person, you're actually visualizing yourself. Okay, you're expecting them to give you permission to love yourself. Just give yourself the love right now. And you do that by loving yourself, even in spite of you being, infatuated with that person. Self-love is the key. Self-love is always going to be the answer. Let's see. Yo, what's good, Pierre? Shout out to Glow Pierre, man. About to hit 1,000 subscribers. I see you, my boy. Jordan, so I'm feeling this girl. We had casual conversations here and there. I want to ask her to go to the movies. Do you think it is too soon for that? Shit, no. I mean, you could go to the movies like on some chill type shit, but there's nothing wrong with that at all. I would say just, depending on the level of interest. I feel like if it just comes out of the blue, she might not be interested. Because let's say if you guys have been talking about, maybe you share a love for scary things, right? And there's a good horror movie coming out. Okay, a scary movie coming out. Maybe you ask her to that movie. I guarantee you she'll say yes. But if it's just from out of the blue, like you've had very small talk, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Yada, yada, yada. And then you just ask her to the movies out of nowhere, it's going to kind of catch her off guard. So I would just say, and only you can gauge that. You have to answer that for yourself because I don't know the full context of the situation. But at the end of the day, though, man, yeah, you should. Here's the thing, man. You're afraid of rejection. That's the only reason why you're asking me that. You should be afraid of regret. And that goes to anybody watching this. A lot of people are afraid of rejection. But when you... Look, man, let me tell you, I'm about to shift your whole paradigm on life, bro, and women. A lot of you guys are afraid of rejection, right? But because of that, you don't even give yourself a chance to see if they would like you or not. You don't put yourself in a position where you can potentially experience rejection. But in depriving yourself of that experience, depriving yourself of the chance to see if that girl is interested in you, you're rejecting yourself. Okay, so you're fulfilling your own biggest fear, yourself. Make that make sense. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, we need a good question about women, man. A good question about dating. If there's any women in here watching this, feel free to ask questions about men too. We'd love to provide insight. How far behind am I? I'm 11 minutes behind. Oh, let me answer this real quick. I'm just interested about the car tour you have coming up for us. Stay tuned for that, man. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, bro. I can't wait. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait for that. BMW. I saw a comment, bro. It was like BMW, black men winning. I love that. I don't know who made that up, but I love it. Shout out to BMW, man, for real. Uh, Good question right here. How do I know if a relationship is meant to be? Intuition. And like I said, it's going to keep coming back to the same two answers, man. Intuition and self-love. And those two are very intertwined. Because when you love yourself, you're in tune with your intuition. So you have to love yourself enough to know if that person is right for you at that time of your life. Okay, and if you get that feeling, then hey, go for it. You know, I think a very big misconception. This is something that I used to struggle with as well. You know, if you've been following my channel for a while, you might remember that I used to say, I want my first girlfriend to be my last. And that's not fair. That's not fair to me nor the girl. For example, my relationship that I was in, that relationship was meant to be, but it wasn't meant to last. It was meant to be for that time in our lives, right? And I'm sure she would agree with that too. You know, sometimes people are meant to be a part of your life to help you advance to the next level and vice versa. And then it's time to part ways. You know, so just try to keep an open mind in that sense. Just because something's meant to be doesn't mean that it's meant to be forever. Let's see. I confess to a girl and every time we see each other, it's so awkward. What do I do? Live your life, man. Keep it moving. It doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be awkward at all. Like, I get why it would be awkward, but just keep it moving. Like, you know, what happened. At least you don't have to live with, you know, what's really awkward is you trying to pretend that you don't like a girl when you really do. That'll make every interaction awkward. Is it okay not wanting to be in a relationship anymore? I just don't feel like I want to be in one, or maybe my past events made me this way. There's nothing wrong with wanting to focus on yourself at all. Now, being afraid of relationships because you're afraid of being hurt again, that's different. Okay, that's different. That's where you have to start doing that inner work and really dig down and figure out the root of what caused you to feel that pain. Because a lot of times it goes much deeper than the relationship itself. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to focus on yourself or your career or any aspect of your life. How do I talk to a group of girls? You know, that's a very good question. I'll say, here's my thing. Okay, if you're talking to a group of girls, are we talking like you like one of the girls in the group? Or you're just talking to a group of girls just for the sake of talking to them? Because that's two different things, two different answers. If you're trying to get at one specific girl, give her most of your time and attention out of the whole group. Okay, focus on her. Make it very apparent that you are there for her. Doesn't mean you should just ignore the friends or, you know, be a dick to them, but make it clear, abundantly clear, that you are there to talk to her. Now, if you're just talking to a group of girls, it's just like if you're talking to a group of guys. It's really no different. Just be yourself, man. Be yourself, talk, and yeah, don't I'll say this also. Don't feel obligated to keep them entertained, right? So like, don't feel like you're a stand-up comedian and you need to have constant stimuli, or you need to give them constant stimulation to keep them interested in you. Okay, if they're not like if the conversation's dry, if the conversation's dry, it is what it is, bro. Don't stress yourself out about that. How do you meet a girl when you're an adult? I would approach females, but I feel like I'm just bothering them while they're out. You can't think like that. I used to think like that for sure. I used to think like that, but a lot of times, man, if you're a friendly dude with good intentions, you might make their day. You might make a girl's day, man. If you're a guy that, a lot of girls, man, they have these preconceived notions about men, and that's why they don't like to be approached. But it's like if you can break that stigma, be a gentleman, be what's the word? Chivalrous, I think. Chivalrous, whatever. Hey man, you might change your whole perception on men, and separate yourself from the crowd. But when you're an adult, man, that's really the only way to meet women for the most part, unless a woman comes up to you. Let's see. At- Hey Jordan, what's a good idea for a first date? My go-to first date, pretty much every time. I'm trying to think. There might have been a few exceptions to this. Here's my perfect first date. Perfect first date. Okay. Um, Start off going to dinner. You go to dinner first. Okay. So usually pick her up from where she stays at. Don't meet up. Pick her up because it gives you more time with her. Okay. So you really set the vibe, get to know them, start talking to them, right? Um, and I know that like this is something that like in the past I was like uncomfortable with making eye contact and stuff like that. So if you're somebody like that, driving like talking in the car is a very good way of overcoming that because you could talk while paying attention to the road. So it's like you have like less pressure. There's less intensity, sexual tension. I've gotten over that now, but for anybody out there that deals with that, that's definitely a great way of just compromising. Pick her up from her place, drive her to dinner. You talk, okay? You talk, get you some bomb ass food. For me, it'd be a vegan restaurant, but for you guys, it might be something else. Get some bomb ass food, man, and just talk to them, get to know them. Really, really get to know them. Laugh, like shit like that. Then from dinner, you go to the movies. Okay, now the movies, this is where you break the touch barrier. Okay, literally, you're only at the movies for one reason. That is to put your arm around her and, like just the classic shit, right? And it seems very insignificant, but breaking the touch barrier, at least for me, because touch is one of my strongest love languages. And I think for a lot of women, it is as well. So putting your arm around her, just little things like that, stroking her hair, like stuff like that, where you want to break the touch barrier. Okay, so now you've gotten to know, because if you go to the movies first and you're putting your arm around this girl, you never even had a real conversation with her. That's kind of weird. It's gonna be awkward. So, you get to know them at dinner, go to the movies, break the touch barrier. After that, you drive her back home in your car, or if you have time, you can maybe like go to a park or something, watch the sunset, just something like that. But usually on the way home, by that point we're comfortable with each other. So that's like we're singing in the car like a vibe session. I'm playing my Daniel Caesar, my Giveon. I'm what I'm saying, I'm gotta end the night off right. So that's kind of my perfect date. And I think looking back on it, pretty much most of my first dates have followed that format. Most of my best first dates have followed that format. It always works, bro. It always works. Why do girls feel bad after rejecting you? Um, Sometimes, and we're just talking like situationally here, some girls don't feel bad about it. But I feel like sometimes girls feel bad about it because how do I put this? It's not so much that they don't like you, it's just that they're not secure enough within themselves to believe that they're worthy of you, right? And that doesn't mean you're better than them. It just means that maybe they don't love themselves enough to feel worthy of love from somebody else. And so they second guess themselves, and they're like, oh man, I fucked up, but they're not really gonna get anywhere though. So that's why, like, my thing is, like, when a girl rejects you, man, listen the first time. Listen the first time. I keep going back to this girl even after we both elevated after a year without talking. I cut her off. Well, then that means that you really like her, man. That means that you have a really strong connection with her. And if she's reciprocating that energy, then I think you guys should proceed. But if she's not reciprocating that energy, then you really need to ask yourself if you've elevated as much as you think you have. Or if you've elevated in the areas that really matter the most. And I'll let you sit on that one. See. What the hell? How do you reject a tall lady? Bro, you're fumbling the bag with that one, bro. Me personally, man, if I found me a girl that was like 6'5" or something like that with my genetics, okay, you guys know I used to be able to dunk. I'm 5'9". So if I found a girl that was 6'5", our kids are gonna be like 6'3", 6'4", with my vertical. Okay, they're going to the league. So you gotta think the long-term play sometimes, but no, you don't have, for on a serious note though, you don't have to like reject her. Like, you don't have to tell her like, oh, it's because you're tall. Like, you can just reject her, man. Just say like, oh, I'm not really I wouldn't even say like you're not my type. Just, I'm not looking for anything right now with you. Or like, damn. I feel like my go-to rejection line is I'm not ready for a relationship. That's my thing. Good question. What is the difference between being persistent and being needy? Persistence is if she shows reciprocity. Neediness is if she doesn't, right? And this is something that my friend told me. Shout out to, I'm not going to say her name, but shout out to her, man. She knows who she is. She told me this literally like a week ago. Relationships are not always going to be 50-50 because we're humans. We go through things, right? Sometimes it's going to be 70-30 or 80-20. Sometimes it's going to be 20-80. But that's where persistence comes in. You don't give up on the person or the relationship. But at the same time, you have to know when to walk away. You have to love yourself enough to know when that 80-20 is not going to change. Okay, because the relationship, that 80-20 shit, that should be like temporary. If it's not temporary, if it persists, then you need to let go. What are some good hangouts to find single moms? Why are we all afraid of rejection? What I believe personally is I think it goes back to our biology, and also just from a spiritual perspective, not feeling understood, I think is a very painful feeling. Not feeling understood or appreciated or accepted. But from a biological standpoint, not being accepted, which, that's really all rejection is, not being accepted or appreciated or understood. In primal times, that's death. They're basically casting you away to fend for yourself in the wilderness. So I think it's like kind of an evolutionary belief system that we have, that we need to be accepted by other people. And that's not to say that we don't need to be accepted by other people, because to an extent we do, but you need to accept yourself first and let the acceptance from others be the byproduct of that. Technical 85, I appreciate the donation, bro. I really do. I wanted to thank you for your advice on Wizio. Hopefully I said that right. Man, I've been doing so many Wizios, bro. I forgot. I don't know when that was, but I'm glad that I was able to provide, some type of insight or just help you expand your consciousness in some way, shape, or form, man. And I appreciate you for reaching out to me on Wizio, for real. Jordan, do you think women should approach too if they stare at a guy? I think that it would be ideal. It would be ideal, but what I've noticed, man, women are, you if you guys think you're afraid of rejection, women are really afraid of rejection, bro. That's why like a lot of times women will not come up to you, bro. Like I remember this is something, bro, I've been holding this shit in for a long time, man. I think I probably made a video on this like last year, but I think I deleted it though because it had like footage from this. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but I remember I used to think I was just ugly, bro. I used to think that like women did not find me good looking because no women ever approached me. Women never came up to me and approached me, and it would always throw me off. Like I'm like, yo, like am I just ugly? Like what the fuck is going on? And then I started doing public interviews, and I'm going up to these girls and asking them to rate me and things like that, and I'm seeing the responses that I'm getting then. Like, okay, so women find me attractive. So why aren't they approaching me? It threw me the fuck off, bro. Like it used to frustrate the living shit out of me, man. It used to frustrate me so much. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I remember one time, bro, this girl that I used to work with at H&M, I'm not gonna say her name, but shout out to her. If you're watching this, you know who you are. She, bro, she like completely shifted my paradigm, man. What'd she say? She was like, have you ever considered the possibility that maybe you're too attractive and that women are intimidated by you and that's why they don't approach you? And like, I remember thinking about that. I think I just sat there in silence for like a few minutes, bro. Like I was so like caught off balance by that like I never heard anything like that. I just assumed that women were the same way as men, but they're not. You know, so I'm not saying that women never approach men. It's happened to me before, especially when I was younger, but I mean, usually that'll only be like the boldest of the bold women, especially if you're a good-looking dude. Most women are not going to approach a guy like that, especially if you're good-looking. But that's just in my experience, though, man. Like I said, I'm not saying that. I feel like they should. I feel like they should, but in practice, it usually doesn't happen like that. And I'm not a very approachable person. I feel like I'm kind of like I give off a very intense vibe, and I think like people can be not intimidated by it, but like people don't look at me and just think like, oh, that's somebody that I want to approach. That's a lie, actually. No, because men will start conversations with me a lot of times, man. That's something I'm going to talk about in a video pretty soon. But women, like I said, man, I think women just don't wait on it. Don't wait on a woman to approach you. I did elevate myself to the point where I'm no longer the same person from when we dated. But for her, I don't see much has changed. Not saying that's a bad thing. She was a great person anyway. And you see, that's one of those things, man, where sometimes, you just have to let go. I'm not sure what the full context is. I don't know if you're going to school with this girl, but how do you know that she hasn't changed? Sometimes people could change it. You don't see it on the outside, but internally their self-perception has changed. So I'm basically I'm saying just, try not to judge her situation, but I understand where you're coming from though. Just let it go. Leave that situation behind, and what's meant to be will happen. I've been trying for years to overcome my shyness. I'm getting the feeling that it isn't even possible for me. The thing is, man, exposure. It's going to be consistent exposure because I'm a naturally shy person. I'm a very shy person. But through consistent exposure to talking to people, approaching people, being approached, and just carrying on conversations, I've kind of not gotten rid of my shyness, but I've really, it's I'm less shy than I used to be. I'll just say it like that. Okay, I'm much less shy than I used to be. But I know that if I went for a year without talking to people, I'd be very shy again. So you have to be consistent. I would recommend you try Omegle. That to me that's a very good way to build up your social skills because you get to like talk to multiple people back to back to back to back to back. Go to Omegle, set your interest as TikTok. You will get all types of women on there. I promise you. Speaking from experience. Um, this is a very, very good question. Why do I want girls but don't at the same time? I feel like my new self is at war with my 2019 self, and I'm right there with you, man. I'm in the same space. I was literally talking to my therapist about this earlier, man. Like, there's times, and this is probably gonna resonate with you. There's times where I feel like, man, I'm good being alone. Like, I love the freedom of being single. I love being able to control my life. But then there's times where I'm like, man, it would be really nice to have like a girl to watch Netflix with, instead of having to watch it here by myself. So I get that, and I think that, like you said, it's like your old self is at war with your new self. That's just part of life, man. There's a lot of life is just transition. It's just you transitioning from one phase to the next, to the next, to the next. And you're always going to be in that transitionary phase as long as you're growing. I think that the moment that you've stagnated, that's where you should be fearful. That's where you need to, I'm not going to say panic, but, start to do some introspection and really see if you're content with where you are. I feel that me being a good girl is all for nothing. It's like the girls that are playing and scamming guys are always getting the world, and girls like me are placed on the back burner. And I'm very glad that you said that, Chelsea. Chelsea. I'm very glad that you said that because, and there's a lot of men in here that feel the same way. And so to see that there are women out there that go through the same thing, this just goes to show you guys that it's happening on both sides. It's really happening on both sides. And, I think it's a matter of just staying true to yourself through all of the extra BS, getting away from social media, and just living your life. Because the girls that are scamming guys and playing guys, yeah, they might get the guys now, but either those are guys without self-respect or their relationships just won't last. It always happens that way. So just focus on yourself. Just focus on yourself. And that goes to everyone else out here that feels that way. That feels like, nice guys finish last. Nice girls finish last. Yeah, we might finish last, but usually, we end up with the partner that brings us the greatest sense of fulfillment when we're with them. Sometimes it's better to be last than to be first. Like in a great example, like Squid Game. I don't want to spoil. I mean, you guys should have watched Squid Game by now, but I'll just say the little glass tiles game. Great example of, sometimes it's best to be last because you get to sit there and watch everybody else throw their lives away and, make your plays accordingly. So be grateful. At my job, I have coworkers that I'm kind of interested in. She said I'm cute, but I'm kind of confused if she's feeling me or not because sometimes we vibe, but other times she's mad distant. Um, I mean, if she said you're cute, bro, that's a pretty like, you know what I'm saying? You have to ask yourself if maybe you're giving off inconsistent energy and maybe she's just responding to that. But if I were you, I would definitely see what you can make out of that, bro. See what you can make out of that because I sense a lot of hesitancy on your part, and rightfully so. But at the same time, it's like she might just be responding to you. She might just be reciprocating your energy a little better than you're comfortable with. So look within. Really ask yourself the questions that you need to ask yourself. Oh, hold on real quick. This looks like a good little story. I keep going back to this girl after I cut her off. Last time I did that for like a year and recently decided to text her. Maybe I was down bad. I don't know. After a week of talking again, we both confessed. Where's the rest of it? but we agreed on how we agreed on how we both elevated and changed a lot, and we're more compatible now, but no relationship so far. It's like we're both not ready. I think maybe you should just take it slow, man. Just take it slow. You know, you felt compelled to reach out to her for a reason. That doesn't mean that you were down bad or that you were simping. It just means that you wanted to reach out to her. You know, if that's what your intuition was telling you, and you love yourself enough to trust that that was your intuition, you did the right thing. You know, you did the right thing. Don't sacrifice that connection over pride. You know, that's what I would say. But let me see. You said how long ago? Yeah. Okay. You've only been talking. You guys have only been talking for a week. You guys have only been talking for a week. Don't rush this, man. Don't rush this. Do not rush this. There's a reason why it didn't work out the first time. I would imagine that it had something to do with you guys rushing things. Okay, because a lot of times that really messes people up. So take your time. If it's meant to be, there's no need to rush. Just let it happen in divine timing. Let me see. Good first date is something quick and easy like ice cream or coffee. No, see, here's my thing. I don't do quick dates. Okay, if I'm going on a date with a girl, I can't think of a time where I went on a date with a first date. Okay, a first date with a girl where it was less than like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. Usually, if I'm going on a date with a girl, it's gonna be like not an all day affair, but it's gonna be from like 5 p.m. to like 11 p.m. Like it's gonna be like a long date because you don't really get the chance to know somebody, you know, just from having coffee with them. Like I feel like you need to like bring them to different situations. That's my thing. But like I said, maybe I just operate differently than most people. I think I just operate like, I don't know. I'm not like on any like, I'm not very casual in the way that I move in the dating world. I don't move casually at all. I move with intention. Everything that I do is with intention. Jordan, I don't like approaching women, but when they look, sometimes I say to myself they lost me because I do think they should approach. And like I said, man, that's the way that I used to think, and sometimes even still do. But I know that that's not how it works. It's just not how it works, man. Like, if you're expecting, especially an attractive woman, because attractive women are typically not accustomed. Those, bro, the better looking the girl, the more afraid of rejection she probably is, because she's probably never been rejected in her life, so she has no exposure to that. Okay, fear is the lack of understanding, the lack of exposure to something. So, you know, you have to you just gotta shoot your shot sometimes. Like you gotta start, you know, shifting your mindset and taking initiative. And I can guarantee you that you saying that is really just your inner facade for your fear of rejection. It's just you made yourself believe that. And like I said, I'm speaking from experience with that. Okay, hold on. How far behind are we? Let's see. How many kids are you planning on having? Shit, dude, I honestly don't know if I want kids. If I'm being completely real with you guys. Definitely in my 20s, no kids at all. No kids, bro. No kids in my 20s. In my at most, I could see myself having 2 kids. But that's if I decide to have kids, man. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a very good place to meet women. I don't know how I forgot this one, bro. Retail stores. Retail. Look, I used to work retail. Take it from me, bro. There are plenty of women walking through those stores. Not only walking through the stores, but working at the stores. Now, you have to work at the right stores. Okay, I would say If you could work at PacSun, H&M, Forever 21, any type of trendy store, I'm telling you, bro, you're going to see some very, very attractive women walking through those stores. Very attractive women. There's a girl in my school that I like. I want to ask her out, but I don't know if she likes me or not. Sometimes I look at her and she's already looking at me. Do I go for it? I would say just start off talking to her. Okay, I feel like I always thought it was weird to like if your first interaction is you asking the girl out. I would just say maybe try to have just break the ice. Talk to her. If you catch her looking at you again, after class, you go up to her and you talk to her. Introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Saturn. My name is Saturn. What's your name? Nice to meet you. I've seen you around such and such. You know, just small talk, but like keep it pretty brief. Break the ice. That's all you need to do. Then the next day or whatever, go a little bit further and keep it moving like that. See, when you say relationships aren't going to be 50-50 all the time, they should be 50-50 by default, but at times they're just not going to be 50-50 because people go through things. When do you know you should give up on something? Like we keep going back to each other even when I try cutting things off. Like I say, you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself enough to know intuitively when something is not bringing you. Ask yourself this, okay? This is really the answer. Ask yourself, what am I getting out of this? Okay, ask yourself, what am I getting out of this situation? Because if you're going to put up with that, right, and that's just relationships, you have to put in work. You have to put in work because things happen. What am I getting out of this? Okay, and when you figure out what you're getting out of this or out of that situation, figure out, is it worth it? Is it worth what I'm going through right now? The answer to that question is the answer to the question that you just asked me. Okay. Fix the comment. I asked a girl out in class. She said no and she told everyone about it. Everyone laughs. Never flirted with her, never talked to her. How can I learn from this? I feel like crap now. Man, I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way possible. Fuck her. Okay, fuck that girl, bro. That's weird. That's just weird to do something like that. Like for her to just make fun. Like you dodged a bullet, man. You have to understand that. I know it hurts that you got rejected, but just think about this, bro. If she had said yes, and later on you found out that she was a dick, like she's just like a mean person, think about how that would have felt. Okay, then you really would have felt like crap. Because then you would have realized that she's not the person that you thought she was, and now you can't get that time back. So be grateful that she showed her true colors from the get-go. Because she's on some very strange timing with that one. Very, very strange activity right there. Let's see. How far behind is Jordan? I am 11 minutes behind right now. Jordan is going into another relationship makes a breakup easier to go through. Does going through another relationship make a breakup easier to go through? Is that what you're asking? No. Okay, do not go and find a rebound. Don't do that. Don't do that, because then when that situation inevitably fails because you haven't worked through your traumas and you just end up manifesting the same ending, a self-fulfilling prophecy, now you have double the trauma to overcome. And you've gotten somebody else hurt in the process. Favorite movie ever? Bari, I appreciate the donation. My favorite movie of all time. That's a good question. These are two very different answers, but I think they're like kind of tied because these are the only two movies that I'll watch over and over again and never get tired of. Interstellar is one of them, and Paid in Full. Paid in Full might actually be my favorite movie of all time. Money Making Mitch, man. Paid in Full. Do you know when you're gonna start dating again? I feel like for me, I'm at this stage in my life where I'm pretty content with being single. But if I were to find the right girl, like if I found a girl that was, I'll put it like this, okay? And this is like, I was talking with my therapist about this earlier too. With this apartment that I'm in, right? Which apartment tour coming very soon as well. I already filmed it. It's already ready to go. When I found this apartment, this was a deal that I simply could not pass up. I just couldn't pass it up. When I found my car, okay, the car that I just got, I couldn't pass it up. It was a deal that I could not pass up. I knew that I could not leave the lot without that car. In the same way, if I'm going to be in a relationship, I have to come across a girl that is a deal that brings a package that I simply cannot pass up. Okay, she has to be so cold, bro. Like, I don't even know what that looks like. I just know that it has to be something that I simply cannot ignore. That's pretty much my answer to that, man. Boy, I need some water. I'm thirsty as hell right now. Ooh, this is a messy ass question. What do you think about dating your best friend's ex? Me personally, I would not do that. I couldn't do it. Like, to me, that's a turnoff. If I know that my friend, like one of my friends has been with you, and you, especially if you guys have had sex, I can't do it. That's a turnoff for me. Because I don't want to know about like your exes and like I don't really want to know about that shit. But I guess that's kind of hypocritical of me to say, but no, in short, I would not. I wouldn't do it. Now, if you feel like that's like if you feel like that's just somebody that you guys just connect so deeply that you just don't give a fuck, then hey, do you, bro? Do you? I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. But at the same time, accept what comes with that, you know, which could potentially be the end of that friendship. Skyburn, I appreciate the donation. I started liking girls once we're ready. I start liking girls once we're already in the friend zone. I rarely like them prior to knowing them. Problem is they never reciprocate the feelings. The problem is that you're letting yourself fall into the friend zone. See, the thing is, bro, you have to make your intentions clear from the get-go. Not, how do I put this? You have to insinuate that you like them, imply that you like them without pressing them too much. That's how you avoid getting into the friend zone. Because that shouldn't really be a possibility. If you're playing the situation right, the friend zone is not a possibility for you. It's either you get ghosted, like you just stop talking, or you get together. Okay, now if you're saying that you only catch feelings for girls once you're already in the friend zone, what that tells me is that you are addicted to the chase. You just like things that you feel are unattainable, and even if you got one of those girls, you still wouldn't be satisfied. Which is, you know, that's something that you have to work through within yourself, but I can tell you that the answer is self-love. And I appreciate the donation once again. Shout out to all my those Euros. Shout out to all my European people. Real talk, I've been thinking about the past a lot and it's making me feel weird about it. It's good to reminisce about the past, but if you stay on the past, you get depressed. Keep moving forward. For sure. I think that it's all about finding a way to tell your story. You know, if you suppress it within you, it'll always live within you in your subconscious. And that's where people find themselves in these self-fulfilling prophecies. That's why I wrote this book. That's why I wrote Soul Shock. It is literally, bro, look, like I would obviously love for that book to go viral and just take my career to this whole different level. I wrote the book for me. I wrote the book. I wasn't even going to release the book at first, but I just feel like it's so good that I have to release it, and I feel like it can help other people. But that book is literally just a therapy session for me. That's all it was, man. So that was my way of releasing that old stagnant energy. But for you, it might be something else. Do you have an Instagram? No, I am not on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok. I don't really post on there anymore. I might start posting on there again in the near future, but right now it's just YouTube. Let's see. Would you still go on a long date with a female even if you're just trying to have something casual? Now you see, that's the thing. I don't do casual relationships. But there was a girl that very first girl I ever went on a date with, man. She wanted a casual relationship unbeknownst to me on our first date. And our date was still like about 4 or 5 hours, I'm pretty sure. We went to a haunted house. For anyone from the DFW area, cutting edge haunted house. Then we went around downtown Fort Worth. I think it was downtown Fort Worth. I don't even remember, man. It was some type of city, bro. It was some like downtown environment. Walked around a little bit. Yeah, like I said, for me, I don't do short dates because like if I'm gonna take the time out of my day to hang around you, like we're gonna like I want to spend time with you and really get to know you. Let's see. Okay, we're only 7 minutes behind now. When I was bitter over my breakup, I would manipulate and insult this one girl. I absolutely regret what I did. She's still always down to hang out and talk despite my immature words. What do I do? Apologize to her. Apologize to her, man. I know, like, I'm not gonna, put you down for what you did. Everyone just does the best that they can with where they are in their lives, and given their particular emotional state, spiritual state, physical state, mental state. But you need to clear your conscience, man. Apologize to her for everything that you said and did to her. And also, I just want to throw this out there, man. That for everyone watching this is why you take the time to heal before you put yourself in another situation. Because if you do this to the wrong person, i.e. a person like me when I was 19, like all of a sudden you got somebody who's traumatized, man. Now the person is like fucked up, like for real. So, I hopefully you didn't do too much like damage to her like that, but apologize, bro. Apologize for you and for her. Jordan, what do you do when someone leaves you on red? It depends, man. It depends on the context because like I leave people on red all the time, man. And it's nothing personal. It's just like I'll say it like this, bro. If we're cool, if we're like already cool and you leave me on red, I don't care. And I'm assuming you're talking about girls too. But if like I'm trying to get to know you, like if we're like, especially if we're dating or whatever, we're talking, and I want to progress to that next stage with you, and you leave me on red. Maybe if it's a one-time thing, I won't trip about it. If it happens more than once, then that. And on top of that, you're like your replies are dry. Nah, that shit is dead. That shit is dead to me. If you really believe looks don't matter and it's all in your interactions and behaviors, it's not all in your interactions and behaviors. It's mostly in your interactions and behaviors. That's the thing, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there first. and lead with your personality, not with your material possessions or your looks. But what would you advise autistic individuals or mentally unhealthy ones, depression and anxiety, etc.? Same thing, man. You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself enough to be authentically you. Okay? And if you don't love yourself, you can't expect anyone else to love you. And on top of that, you can't love anyone else. Okay? So if you feel like, those things are holding you back, per se, especially autism, because depression and anxiety, you can cure those. Autism, it's just there. It's going to be with you for life, right? But you make the most of your situation. You learn to accept and love yourself for who you are and let the right person come to you. Okay? Because if somebody is, not accepting of that aspect of you, they're just not for you. They're just not for you. That doesn't mean that you're any less of a person, but they're just not for you. Like I said, man, you guys have to be patient, man. It's better to be single than to be with the wrong person. I promise you that. Weston, I appreciate the donation. Are you a Marvel or DC fan? I don't really watch either. I'm not a big movie person in general. I'm not a very big movie person, and I'm not a big action movie person either. I'm more. I just don't like movies that much in general, man. But yeah, neither. To answer your question, I appreciate the donation though. Women liked me more when I was in the streets and in bullshit. Now I'm getting my life back together and there aren't as much around me now. Yeah, that's because I'm assuming that with you, being in the streets, maybe the area that you're from is, the majority of people there are not going to be on that wavelength that you're on right now or that you're getting on. So you're going to feel a little bit isolated until you put yourself in a space where more people are thinking like you. Because if you were in the streets in, other spaces, you would be, what's the word? Ostracized by other people, because that's not the type of timing that they're on. That's not the wavelength that they're on. So those are not women that you want to be with, because those are the women that are going to hold you back in your life. When is it coming out though? I'm assuming you're talking about the book. The book is coming out January 11th, 2022. If you ever forget that date, look at my banner or just remember 1/11/22. Yo, Bolts, I appreciate the donation. I admitted to a girl that I liked her and wanted to date her, in college by the way. And she said she saw something in me. A week later, she rejected me. Yeah, man, like I was saying earlier, sometimes women like you, but aren't ready for relationships. And I know it's a very difficult concept to grasp, especially if you are very logical, because the way that I always thought was if two people like each other, they should be together. But that's not always true, man. Sometimes people are just not ready. They just don't love themselves enough. You can't be in a relationship with someone else if you're not in a relationship with yourself. So be grateful that she spared you the time. She spared you the energy and, the trauma of being led on. Let's see. I get no hoes. This is the end of my bloodline. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy as hell, man. How will you know when you have healed your childhood trauma? When you put yourself in a situation, and I'll say this, okay? This is what I feel like when your self-talk is more positive than negative, right? Because a lot of times when you have trauma, you self-sabotage. What do I mean by that? You might find yourself with a partner that you see a lot of potential in, and you reject them. You don't know why you did it, but it's because you were telling yourself deep down that, oh, they're just gonna leave me, they're just gonna hurt me, so let me avoid the situation and avoid the potential to feel that pain. You reject yourself. You abandon that person and reject yourself. So you have to put yourself through the test of life. That's really what it comes down to. Oh man. Oh God. Okay. Hey Jordan, how long do you think a talking stage should last? I've been talking to this guy for 5 months. Been intimate but no dates. Feels like I'm wasting time. I am sorry to inform you, but it's time to let him go. It's time to let him go. If you've been talking to him for 5 months and you've never been on a date with him, look, let me tell you guys something. This goes for women, men, and anything in between, bro. You guys have to stop. You guys have to stop pedestalizing the bare minimum. 5 months with no dates, that's unacceptable. That's just plain unacceptable, man. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Like I don't know what this dude's been doing to you, like to get you to make you stay in that situation, but that's crazy. You gotta respect yourself more. And I'm not saying that to like make you feel like you're to put you down or anything, but if you love yourself, you can't let that type of thing happen to you. You can't let yourself be caught up in a situation like that because you might miss out on the love of your life, the man who is willing to give you what you know you deserve. Because you're messing around with this dude. You only get one shot at this life. You only get one shot to be you, and you want to spend it with this dude. You want to spend 5 months with this dude who won't even take you on a date. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. Like you have to do better, And like I said, this goes for everyone, because I feel like a lot of us have probably been in situations like that where, we accept, we believe that the bare minimum is, that's the bare minimum should be the standard, or not even the bare minimum, but just like a date, man. Like, come on, man. That's wild. That's wild. Oh my goodness, this is a great question. How can a girl slide into a guy's DMs? Let me tell you guys something, bro. Oh my God. Any girls watching this, okay? Any girls watching this, you guys don't realize how easy you have it. You guys don't realize how easy you guys have it, man. Like, literally, you don't need game if you're a girl. Like, just say hey, like hey with like the eye emojis. Like just do some shit like that. Do something like that. Be mildly flirtatious and just say what's up. Like you don't need to slide in with the pickup line or anything like that. A guy is gonna know very quickly if he likes you or not. Okay, he's gonna know. So don't waste his time, don't waste your time. Just say what's up, leave it at that. And same with approaching a guy. Like, I promise you, man, like most guys watching this, man, if an attractive girl just came up to them, and attraction is subjective too. It's another thing. So, if the guy finds you attractive, he's gonna give you that energy. But if he doesn't find you attractive, then he won't. It's simple as that. Cool. Move on to the next. But if you're a girl, man, and you see a guy that you find attractive, just go up to him and just like say anything. Like for me, if a girl came up to me and just like asked for my number, I'd probably give it to her just on the simple fact that she did that. Literally just based on her doing that. Because I don't think that shit has ever happened to me. Or shit. Has that happened to me? Maybe in high school. I don't think that's happened to me in the last few years. I could be wrong though. No, that has happened to me. That has happened to me. And I gave her my number. So just yeah. Let's see. Is it a red flag if she's into hookup culture? For me, yeah. For me it is, because I want a relationship. I don't like casual flings or anything like that. This may be controversial. I believe that hookup culture, if you indulge in hookup culture, especially like on a regular basis, it means one of a few things. Either you're very shallow or you lack self-respect. simply put, because either you don't have the depth of character to do introspection. You've never traversed the waters of your inner soul. You've never went down the rabbit hole of your own mind and tried to figure out who you are. You're just caught up in temporary pleasures and you're completely oblivious to it. Or you know that what you're doing is unfulfilling, but you don't love yourself enough to not indulge in it anyways. That's a major red flag in my opinion. But if you just want a freaky girl, man, then hey, hookup culture is a green flag for you. Let's see. Where was I? Hold up. Let's answer one more question. It's got to be a good question. Well, actually, I'll answer a few more questions because I see this one right here. Is waiting until marriage wrong? I really don't want to have sex before marriage, but when I told that to my ex, she said it's weird. Was she right? No, that's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. Especially if you're doing it for like moral or religious reasons. I think that, see, something like that, you guys have to pay attention to things like that because that's a fundamental difference in your belief systems, which lets me know that that relationship probably will not progress past a certain point. You guys are going to have a glass ceiling on your, how far you can go together. So you guys have to be really aware of things like that, man, of those fundamental incompatibilities. Problem is a lot of women love to flirt, so it's sometimes hard to know if she really wants you. Yeah, I mean, and that can be very difficult, but I feel like when a woman really likes you, how do I put this? I feel like when a woman really, really likes you, she's more like shy than flirtatious. Because if a girl's really flirtatious, that could mean that she's promiscuous, like she's for the streets, or that's just her personality. But if a girl likes you, like I said, a lot of girls are afraid of rejection. So if she likes you, she's not going to put herself in a position to be rejected by you, right? By flirting with you. So that's my take on it. Because in my experience, when girls would like flirt with me like hardcore, it never would work out. Usually it'd be girls that were already in relationships that would do stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, hold on real quick, man. Help my boy out. The girl that told everyone that I got rejected by her now has her boyfriend DMing that he's gonna beat me up. Did not know she had a boyfriend. I'm scared. What am I gonna do? Or what should I do? All right, bro. So look, first, my thing is this: fighting should be a last resort. Fighting should be a very last resort. I think you should just tell him what happened. Say, hey, I didn't know that she had a boyfriend. My bad. Now, don't ever fight anyone over words. Don't ever fight anyone over a girl like her. Don't ever fight anyone over a girl, period, unless she's your girl. But especially a girl like that. I would block him. I would block him and her on social media. Like, why are you in my DMs? You're weird. Now, how am I gonna, if he tries some shit on, because a lot of times, bro, people, if he's really about it, he wouldn't be in your DMs like that. Okay, that's like, he's not really with the shits, bro. He's not really about that because he wouldn't be DMing you. He would just catch you in school. He would just catch you when he sees you. Okay, and it would be static there. But if he's in your DMs, bro, he's really, he's probably just saying that shit to kind of like appease her, to make her, think that he's about that type of, he's with that type of shit, bro. But if he tries you in school, like I mean, shit, bro. a lot of people don't a lot of people don't expect a good jab, bro. And you have to like, you got to understand, bro, like a lot of people don't, because when people fight, they're you know, they're throwing hooks and shit. A lot of people don't see a good jab coming. Okay, so you know, if he's crowding your space, bro, you know, you just come from down here, bro. You don't have to put your hand, come, boom, just catch it, bro. You catch him anywhere, bro. Soft the eyes, okay, catch him in the nose. That'll. A lot of people don't expect a good jab. Okay, now you follow that up with a straight right. I don't know if you're southpaw, if you're orthodox, what's your dominant hand? A jab followed by either a straight right. You can go with a shovel hook. You can go with a right hook, an overhand if he's taller than you. Give him a good jab. Okay, now you got to understand what comes with this too. Okay, if, you know, I don't know what this man is into. You're probably going to get suspended. Okay, but I guarantee you that he won't do that shit again. I guarantee you that nobody else will try you after that. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that you should just go up to this man and, you know, instigate something. Fighting should be a last resort. But if it comes down to it, use your jab. Okay, just lead with the jab. Put your hips into it. Okay, back leg, pivot. Okay, you're going to pivot that back foot. Catch him with a good stiff jab. I promise you, bro, he will not fuck with you after that. I guarantee you he won't. Guarantee you. Let's see. This man said Jordan gonna get dude knocked out. No, I'm telling you, a lot of people don't see a jab coming. You know, now if this dude is like 6'5", like 250, he's out of your weight class. You might have to transfer schools or something, bro. I don't know what to tell you then. I can't help you with that. Okay, you got to get one of your homies or something. You guys can just like, you know, hey man, you know, just hang out with me for like the next few weeks and shit. But like I said, bro, a good jab is you know, you try it for yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. But what time is it? It's 8 o'clock. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate all of you guys for stopping by, showing support. Stay tuned, man. I got like, you guys don't understand how many videos I have planned out in my head. Like, it's to the point where I can't even film them fast enough to keep up. And there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes, like just, you know, building up a lot of infrastructure, really getting my brand to that next level, and, you know, doing so in a way that can benefit you guys and myself. But in the near future, expect an apartment tour, like a furnished apartment tour. Expect a skincare routine. I have that on the way. I know a lot of people have been asking for that. Okay, you see the glow. I'll do a car tour. I am going to do a car tour in the near future, as well as a video on how I manifested that car, because it still kind of boggles my mind that I was able to do that shit. But yeah, man, I just have a lot of great videos on the way, a lot of great content. I've been dropping bangers for over a year now, but especially this last week. So yeah, man, just stay tuned for more content, bro, because we're gonna end the year off right, and we're gonna keep that momentum going for the rest of my life. Next stream will be Saturday. It's gonna be a little bit earlier than usual, probably like 6 p.m. Central U.S. time. So mark your calendars or whatever. Probably give you guys a reminder like a day in advance. And yeah, I hope you guys were able to take some type of insight from this stream. And if you haven't already watched the video that I dropped today, what's it called? The problem with modern women are down bad. Yeah. Shout out to everyone who donated. Shout out to everyone who contributed by asking questions. And guess I'll see you guys Saturday. I guess, yeah.